Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And hey, guys, the draft is over with finally. I had to get a day to recoup, just get over the excitement of the draft. Now, it was the first year we did the virtual draft because of COVID-19. There were questions about how well the virtual draft will go because of the whole situation with it being everything online and things of that nature. People thought somebody was going to hack it. They thought that people were going to mess up and people's draft picks get leaked early. I think that did happen because I was online with and I was talking to my man Dallas Cowboy DMV Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to DMV and he had somebody on his live chat that kept telling all of the picks before they were coming to the players, and there's no way you can guess that. So he had to been getting that information from somewhere. So somebody knew somewhere. So there were draft picks being leaked, but it wasn't enough to be a problem for the NFL. But apparently they were being leaked, and it sucked because it took away from the dynamic of being excited about certain picks for me. Um, but I'm happy about Dallas Cowboys pick. I would say that they do get a solid A for this draft. Even the draft gurus and the talking heads and stuff say that the Dallas Cowboys had a very good draft. And when they agree with it, that's something because they don't agree with nothing as far as Dallas Cowboys related. Shout out to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones drafting from his $250 million yacht. Which I would love to see. I just want to see it. I just want to touch it. Just let me touch it. Let me touch it. I just want to touch it a little bit. Just let me touch it. Let me touch it. Let me touch it. But that's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to touch it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I know I saw a picture of the yacht or whatever. It's a nice yacht. It really is. It's cool. Um, I'm hoping that things come back to some type of normalcy so we can have a training camp and some type of off-season program because the Dallas Cowboys do have five um, preseason games because they play in the Hall of Fame game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you kind of want to get everybody acclimated. First things first, before I even get into the draft picks and what I think and things of that nature, um, Dak Prescott needs to get signed by July 15th because if he doesn't, he's going to have to play on that franchise tag. And you don't want him to play on that franchise tag because it creates a rift between the player and the agent and the player and the team and the team and the agent. And it's just, you don't want to do that. They picked up CeeDee Lamb in the first round. You got this dynamic things. You put things in place for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, you got a whole new coaching staff that's better than what we had before. Dak Prescott is going to play so much better than he did years prior. So every year he gets better and better. And with this new staff, it's going to be even better because they're doing different things. Even Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore were meeting up this past weekend and doing things together. So trying to figure out things and put new wrinkles into the offense. So it's going to be a dynamic way of doing things. And you want to get Dak signed sooner than later because if you wait even longer, what's going to happen is you're going to have to pay him even more money than what you're slated to pay him right now. So give him his money right now and then worry about the vernaculars later. That's just how I feel. But as we get into the draft, as far as what the Dallas Cowboys pick, sorry, I gave them an A, solid A for the draft. They did a good job. They would have never drafted like this under the Jason Garrett era. Never, never. So I look at it like this. It was a good draft. It was great. I love what they did with it. I'm happy. So for the first pick, Dallas Cowboys picked CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Now, as we were watching the draft, and you guys that follow my channel, I appreciate it. Um, you notice that as things kept sliding, we was like, And this is before Jerry Jeudy, before Henry Ruggs got drafted. You saw that the three top wide receivers were there, which is the ones I just named. Then Henry Ruggs gets picked first. Then Jerry Jeudy gets picked, and we're like, okay, we know these other teams don't need no wide receiver, so the Dallas Cowboys are sweating because the Dallas Cowboys were gonna pick Kayla Chase on. That's what their number one pick was going to be. Because he was there for them at 17. They could have picked Kayla Chase on. They had every means, they had every on their board. They said that they were going to pick Caleb Chase on, but when they saw that CeeDee Lamb was dropping, they were like, no, we can't miss out on this dynamic receiver. So as CeeDee Lamb fell into their lap, they picked CeeDee Lamb. Now, I'm shocked that he fell to 17, but I'm not mad because I told you guys before, I didn't want any wide receiver in the first round unless it was CeeDee Lamb. That was the only guy that I've been okay with that wasn't a defensive guy to go in the first round for the Dallas Cowboys. I really did like Caleb Chase on, but yeah, CeeDee Lamb, man. That's an awesome pick. He had 32 touchdowns in the 3 seasons that he's been with Alabama. A very dynamic receiver. He could play all 3 wide receiver spots. The X, Y, he could play the slot. So they could do a lot of different things with him. They could put him on special teams. And the boy catch the ball with one hand. He's dynamic with catch. He's like Odell Beckham. He's literally like Odell Beckham. He could catch the ball like Odell does. Like, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. He just be catching it different. His catch radius is stupid. You put it in his vicinity, he going to come down with it. So good luck with teams trying to stop the Dallas Cowboys offense next year. His jersey number, he wanted to wear a 10. Jerry Jones wants him to wear 88. So it's really up in the air what they're going to do right now. I think they should let him just wear the 10. It doesn't look like they're going to re-sign Tavon Austin anyway, so you might as well give CeeDee Lamb number 10. 88 is still kind of Dez's number. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look right on anybody else right now. I understand why Jerry wants to do it for marketing purposes and because he thinks he's going to be a dynamic receiver for the Cowboys going forward. And you want him to continue that legacy. I get it. They always give 88 to their first-round draft pick wide receivers. That's what they did for Dez when he got drafted in 2010. Matter of fact, Dez was the last wide receiver drafted by the Dallas Cowboys since CeeDee Lamb. So I guess it only makes sense that they wanted him to wear the 88. I get it because it's a tradition. But to me, it's still Dez's number. Shit, I wanted Dez still to maybe get a chance to, try for the team again, and wear his 88, you know what I mean? Because 88 is always going to be Dez until he decides he wants to retire. He's still technically a current player, even though he's not, playing for a team right now. He's still a current guy that still eligible to play. But, you look at that, the Dallas Cowboys have only signed 6 receivers in their history of the organization. I don't know if you guys know that. They've only signed 6. They've only picked 6. I'm sorry. They've only picked 6 receivers in the first round. Trayvon Diggs. We got him with the number 2 pick. He's a cornerback out of Alabama. He started 2 years for Nick Saban. He had 4 interceptions in 18 starts. He's 6'1", 205, perfect size for an NFL cornerback. Now, he's a little shaky with his backpedal and things of that nature, but his catch-up speed is ridiculous. I mean, I've watched tape on him. This guy will stay on the receiver. He will bat that ball down. He will take chances, jump the route, get the interception. He's a ball hawk, exactly what you need on the Dallas Cowboys. He's actually going to wear Byron Jones' old number 31, which is going to be kind of weird in the beginning because you're going to look at it, you're like, is that Byron? Even though we know that Byron is gone, it's just that you got to kind of get unused to it being Byron Jones and getting used to it being Trayvon Diggs. Now, Trayvon Diggs is a former receiver, just like his brother Stephon Diggs was. Is. We know that he got traded from the Vikings to the Bills, so shout out to Stephon Diggs as well. But his brother switched from wide receiver to cornerback, and it worked well for him. And he should do well with the Dallas Cowboys. He loves the Dallas Cowboys. He's from this area. He's from Maryland. He's from not too far from where I am right now. So I love that pick as well. Round 3, big boy, Big Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. So him and CeeDee Lamb were teammates. He's going to be number 75 for the Dallas Cowboys this year. He's a run-stuffing defensive tackle. He posted 18 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks in the 4 seasons that he was with Oklahoma. Now, for a defensive tackle position, 8.5 sacks in the time that he was there, that's pretty decent. Because you look at the defensive tackle position, the 1 and the 3 techniques, they don't get sacks like that. You know what I mean? Like, those guys, their whole job is to clog and contain. So for them to get production, number-wise, in that position, it ain't nothing but a positive. And he's a big dude. He don't look like he like that young, but he big. Like all this right here, he makes me when I'm getting ready. As soon as I finish this video, I'm about to go do these push-ups and stuff. I've been doing them too, so I've been getting my body right as well. But anyway, like that boy, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. Yeah. So he's for his size, he is athletic as hell. He has a high motor at 300 plus pounds. I mean, you already got Don Terry Poe and Gerald McCoy, and then you just add this guy. This guy is literally going to be a backup to those guys, but those guys on short contracts, so he could just sit and develop, be a rotational guy, and then when Neville gets to the point where he's used to being on this team and he's used to being at the NFL caliber, he could just take over for that defensive tackle position and he could just eat for years. That's what the Cowboys were doing. They were setting themselves up for years, and that's what you're supposed to do with your team. I'm all for that. Round number 4, Reggie Robinson II, cornerback out of Tulsa. He's going to be wearing number 41 as of right now. His senior year, he had 4 interceptions and 17 pass breakups. I didn't know who he was at first. I had to do some research on him, but looking at him, dynamic guy, very rangy, very athletic, kind of similar to Trayvon Austin, a guy that's going to go up there, get in the guy's face, hand fight with him, and knock that ball out. So that's what you want. You want that guy. You want a guy like that. So I'm happy that we got him as well. So we traded our first 5th round pick to slide down a couple of 10 spots back into the 4th round. So we basically took the Eagles. We traded with the Eagles. The Eagles had the last pick in the 4th round. So we took their last pick in the 4th round. They took our first 5th round draft pick, and they're going to take a 5th for next year. So we took their spot. So at that spot, which was the last pick in the 4th round, so we ended up picking 2 guys in the 4th technically. Tyler, you pronounce his last name Badish. So Tyler Badish, he's going to wear number 63, offensive lineman center. We call him Tyler from Wisconsin, or we're going to affectionately call him, once he gets in that role, Tyler Badass from Wisconsin. All-American for 3 years straight. He helped his running back run for 6,000 total yards throughout his collegiate career. And basically, he's following Travis Frederick's footsteps. So as you guys know, that Travis Frederick was also a Wisconsin Badger. He played that center position when he was in college. After he left, he said that when his freshman year at Wisconsin, they used to show all the offensive linemen just tape on Travis Frederick and just how elite he was and how well he was at doing his line calls and how well he was at holding down that center position and getting up real fast and setting the blocks and stuff like that so the running back can get through the line. Now, I'm not saying that Tyler Badass is a Travis Frederick, but he could be one day because, again, he says he modeled his career after him. He went to Wisconsin. Wisconsin produces a lot of good offensive linemen. Now, the knock on him, the reason why he dropped in the draft is mainly because his lower body strength. Like, he needs to plant those legs and get them better. Now, that's something the Cowboys can do. Joe Philbin literally can, get in there and get him in the weight room and get them legs right, get them leg presses going. He'll be fine. So he'll be fighting for that center position spot with Joe Looney and Connor McGovern. So let the best man win. And I love the fact that they brought him in here to create that competition with the team. And that's what you need. But I like that pick. And again, you foiled the Eagles again. The Eagles wanted to step down and get CeeDee Lamb in the first round. They couldn't find any trade partners. So the Cowboys picked him. They was pissed. You traded their fourth round pick to get that center. They're probably going to be pissed about that when he shows up and shows out. So with our original comp pick in the fifth round, we got Bradley and I called that when you guys saw it. If you go back and look at it, I was like, oh, Cowboys picking Bradley and I right here because he was still there on the board. The Cowboys actually wanted him in the fourth, but when they saw him still available in the fifth, they was like, we got to get him right here. So they got him, Bradley and I, defensive end out of Utah. He's going to wear number 51 for the Dallas Cowboys. He had 29 and a half sacks in 4 years at Utah. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to be, like I said, a rotational defensive end. They're going to slide him in there. He's really good, though. But, again, they're going to slide him in there and see where he fits within the Dallas Cowboys defense. But with this defensive coaching staff, I think they can bring the best out of him. So I'm not really worried about that too much. Again, and then for our seventh round draft pick, because we didn't have a sixth because we traded that last year for Robert Quinn. So our seventh round pick, we have Ben DiNucci, quarterback out of James Madison. He's a James Madison Duke, so shout out to Mark Holmes. That's his old college as well. That's where the Hall of Famer Charles Haley attended school at in the 80s. So James Madison, he had a 23-6 record, and he appeared in the FCS championship game at Frisco. He's a young athletic guy. He's got polished techniques he needs to work on at some. But again, he's coming in. He's going to be a project for Mike McCarthy. We know that Mike McCarthy likes to develop young quarterbacks. So this smells of all of them. This was a Mike McCarthy pick. The Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones and Will McClay, I like how they allowed Mike McCarthy to have his own pick. So he was like, look, because in the seventh round, there's no such thing as a bad pick in the seventh round because it's the seventh round. 65-70% of the players that get picked in the seventh round don't even make the team anyway. So if you have every one of your draft guys make your team and have production, that is a good-ass draft. But I think that everybody on this board can put up and show up, and that's excluding Ben because he's a quarterback. We already have Dak, but will he crack the roster as a backup? Remember, we got Dak Prescott as the number one. We got Cooper Rush as the immediate backup. We have Clayton Thorson as the number 3 quarterback. Some of you guys didn't even know we had a quarterback on the team named Clayton Thorson already. So that should tell you something right there. So basically, he'll be in competition. Ben DiNucci will be in competition with Clayton Thorson. Now, they didn't say that Ben had a number yet, so they didn't give him a number yet, so I don't know what his number is, but, I guess, when you're that late in the draft, I guess it don't matter, huh? So the Dallas Cowboys did get some undrafted free agents right after the draft, so I'm going to name those guys too. Really don't know much about them, didn't do a research, but I'm just going to name them off real quick. So the undrafted free agents that we got was Terrence Steele, offensive tackle out of Texas Tech. And then we got Stephen Gurdy, wide receiver out of Mississippi State. He had 387 yards, receiving 5 touchdowns. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. So kind of a big wide receiver. Definitely somebody that can kick the tires on, see what it looked like. Aaron Parker, wide receiver out of Rhode Island. 9 touchdowns, 1,224 yards last season. Pretty good production, but it is Rhode Island. Charlie Talmopo, tight end. I don't know anything about him, but I think he's Samoan. There's a lot of Hawaiian guys in here, too. I noticed that. Kendrick Rogers, wide receiver, Texas A&M, 6'4", 208. So they got a lot of wide receivers and things of that nature. But again, these are all guys that kick the tire. More than likely, they're not going to be on the team. They're just camp bodies at this point, but you never know. Dallas Cowboys do good with undrafted guys, so one of these guys could snap the roster. You never know. The last person I'm going to say will probably make this roster just because he's the only one because we didn't draft that position at all. If you notice, we didn't draft safeties. So the last person I say might have a chance to make this team just because he's the only one of that position. Darius Anderson, running back out of TCU, 823 yards last year, and it was a committee backfield, so they used a lot of different people. So that's why he only had 823 yards, and then he was a special teamer as well. So that also helps Dallas Cowboys as well as far as talent evaluation. Siwo Alanilu, fullback out of TCU. So basically, he played both of these guys, Darius Anderson and both on the same team. He played running back and fullback, but they gave him the ball. He ran that thing 537 yards with 8 touchdowns last season. So he's a fullback with some grit. So maybe he might give Jameis Olawale a run for his money. We'll see. Next one is Rico Dowdle. I don't know how to pronounce it. Running back out of South Carolina. In 2019, he had a knee injury, but he still managed to rush for 500 yards. He's 5'11", 213 pounds. Sean McKeon, tight end out of Michigan. So that's the second tight end. Garrett Marino, defensive tackle out of UAB. He had 6 sacks, 13.5 tackles for loss in his career at UAB. And then there's Rondell Carter, defensive end, James Madison, 23 sacks in his career with James Madison, which was, I think they were 9th in career history outside of Charles Haley. So, he's on the record books with the school. So, Ladarius Hamilton, defensive end out of North Texas, career 17 sacks, 28.5 tackles for loss. Francis Bernard, linebacker out of Utah. So that's the first linebacker. We didn't draft no linebacker either. Azur Kamara, linebacker, Kansas. He went to Kansas, but he spent his first 2 years in JUCO. So he transferred from JUCO to Kansas, and now he's trying out for the Dallas Cowboys. Luther Kirk, and this is the guy I was talking about. Luther Kirk, safety out of Illinois State, 89 tackles last season. Definitely a project guy. There were some questions on his technique and things of that nature. It was the reason why he didn't get drafted. And again, he went to Illinois State. So look for him. Luther Kirk might be a guy that's going to fight hard to try to make this roster again because, again, it's a safety position. If nothing else, all of these guys will have practice squad eligibility, so we'll see what happens. Now, the Cowboys, the NFL has been doing something new these last couple of years. It's called the International Player Pathway Program. And it's a program where they get international players that play well in their countries, and they give them the opportunity to become a part of an NFL roster, right? So this year, it's the NFC East turn to have a guy on their roster. So what happens is, after the offseason program, when the season starts, the teams keep these guys on their practice squad, and they continue to work hard and try to compete for a roster spot on the team. Which I love this program. I'm all for it. I think it's awesome. One of the first people that was a part of this program when they first launched it was F.A. Obata. You guys remember when we had F.A. Obata? We had him. He was an international guy that we got from London by way of Nigeria. He played with the Dallas Cowboys. He was on the practice squad. Jason Garrett didn't know how to develop nobody, so they tried to switch. Jason Garrett always trying to switch somebody's position. Stupid. So then he went to the Carolina Panthers. He played well with the Carolina Panthers. He lasted 3 seasons on the Carolina Panthers. So when they were on All or Nothing last year, he was a part of that. They talked about him while he was on there. He actually played well with them. And, he's no longer with them right now. But again, he got a chance to be in the NFL for 4 years, which is a really good job. So for the Cowboys, their international player this year is Isaac Alacon. Did I say it right? Alacon. All my Spanish-speaking people, did I say it right? Alacon. From Mexico. He's an offensive lineman. I was looking at some highlights from him in his championship game in Mexico. Pretty decent guy. Now, going up against these American offensive linemen may be a little tougher route for him, but he pretty much dominated where he was in Mexico. He did a pretty good job, and he's a try hard guy. 21 years old. Looks like he's got a lot of confidence in him. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, the NFC East, like I said, all had international players, so I'm gonna name their players too. So the New York Giants, they got Australian running back Sandro Platzgummer. The Redskins got a German defensive end, David Bada. And the Eagles got an Australian defensive end, Matt Leo. So Trent McShay, you should be proud that you got your Australian guys over here in the United States trying out to be for NFL teams. So I know you're proud of your Aussies for that one. So that's all I have for right now. Let me know what you guys think about the draft pick and the undrafted guys. I know some of you guys are more college watchers than I am. So you guys probably know some of these college, undrafted players better than I do. But let me know what you guys think in the comments box about, not just the draft picks, but the undrafted free rookies. I think that this year is going to be pretty good. Lord and behold, if we have a season, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that Dak Prescott gets his contract before July 15th because I want to see him play his best. And I know that Dak Prescott is going to do really well this year. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a monster. And Dallas Cowboys, I think, are going to do well. You get this defensive line together and everything, put all the pieces to the puzzle together. It is what it is. Now, I'm going to do a video on some of the guys that we picked up in the offseason, like HaHa Clinton Dix and Maurice Canaday and Savion Smith. I'm going to do some things on that because I was looking at these guys too, and it's a reason why Dallas Cowboys picked these particular guys. They're actually going to play well for the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, this year. So look out for that. Thanks again to everybody that tuned into my live stream for the draft. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the real MVP. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and support your boy. Why not? Why not? You here. You might as well. Hit that notification bell and subscribe. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon.